Yeah. Hi, I'm Robert White. I wanted to let you know that I met Byron before he became a politician. He's a friend. Chinatown needs some support against special service area taxes. What happens there is Chinatown, we're kind of like Republicans. We like to earn our own money and spend our money the way we want. We want to do what we know is going to help us. And Byron was the one that tried to help us stop the SSA. Unfortunately, Solis passed it anyway, regardless of 2,000 signatures. People showed up City Hall and saying, no, we don't want the tax. So Byron became a friend because he didn't know me from Adam. And he didn't know Chinatown at all. I mean, very little. Maybe just the beats. So the thing is, a guy helping you that doesn't know you at all says something about the person. So we were very fortunate that he ran for order against Solis. So Chinatown decided to support him. And then after he won, he created a community group, an advisory council, to get input in each quadrant of his work. He wanted to hear from us. What do you need? What are your problems? How can we fix it? And he picked people that would know more about that community than just a man on the street. So he wanted to know what was going on. And then he would try to fashion things to support and correct and help the community. So one of the things that, the big thing that happened was the 78. It was under his rule in his ward. And he was able to get a meeting and have the officers of within the Midwest meet with the community members and tell them, this is what we're going to do, and the community members will do this. The fact is, he created this group, his advisory council, zoning advisory board, to help the community, to help people get their opinions heard. That's the important thing. Byron's got a good heart, a very good heart. And remember, what you see he's trying to do, you know it's not for him. He's going to do it for your community. You might not like it all. I don't like all the things he does. But he's my friend. And I know he's got a good heart. So we might differ on some opinions. You can trust the guy's heart. That's the true soul of the person. So this is why we do it. I do it. I'm so proud to tell his parents, do you know what your son did? He's an immigrant. Look, most of your people here, you're all immigrants. You come here, you work, right? You work, you try to make some money. So I told him, do you know what your son did? He's a foreigner. He comes here, he becomes a leader. And he creates programs in Chicago, in the ward, that most of the aldermen don't have, like an advisory council. They don't have it. I think there's only two. He started, so he gives us a voice. So I respect him. I wish he still was in charge. I know what bigger voice in there. But the 78 people, they're very, very open to hearing what the community wants. So they're good people too. So I'm here to give my support to Byron, to tell you, if you disagree with maybe some of his policies, understand this guy has an honest heart. And it's not going to be for something he gets for himself. It's going to be because the community needs it. He does it for the community. And yeah, and just like any other community, there are different factions in community. Sometimes one group says yes, the other says no, but the guy's heart is saying, I'm trying to do it for the better of the community, not myself. So anyway, I'd like to introduce you to our next speaker, Jesse.
way around. I've been knowing Byron for a long time. I can't remember when we met, but I knew him before he became alderman. I worked with him hard because before Byron became alderman, we was fighting in our community, just trying to get somebody to help us, to pay attention to us. And Byron came along. He worked side by side with us. It didn't matter whether he was an alderman or not. He helped us. He, we didn't have a computer. We didn't have a printer. Byron brought us those things from his own office. We didn't have a lot of things. Byron looked out for us. So when Byron ran, we worked hard to get Byron in there. We didn't win the first time, but that second time he won. And he helped us when Byron couldn't be our alderman anymore. I cried because I knew what was happening. I knew we were not going to ever have anybody else like Byron. Byron would come to the meetings. He would help us, stand up for us. I knew nobody else would do that. And now he's not going to be alderman anymore. My heart hurts. My heart breaks. But I know with Byron, you will get what you deserve when he makes it to Congress. He will look out for you. He won't sell you out. He will always have an open door policy to whoever, whether you're in his ward or not. Because I haven't been in his ward for a little while now. And every time I go to Byron, he never tells me no. He never shuts his door in front of my face. Whenever I call him, he's always there. And I want you to know, when you call him, he's going to be there. He will answer you. He will never turn you around. We need other people like Byron. I wonder who's going to take his place. Will they have the same heart that he has? And it's just, he's a miracle. Byron is a miracle. He's been around here fighting for us all these years and helping people. He's not just helping the people in his ward. He's helping everybody. And I just hope people come out and support him because I am going to support him. He has my support. I've been sick. I've been in the hospital for 2 months. I came out because of Byron. I'm hoping that you all will stand up and fight for him because we need somebody like him in Congress. We don't need what we have now. We need somebody like Byron, and we need some other people like Byron. So with that, I'm gonna close. I'm not gonna hold you, but I just want you to know that Byron will fight for you. Byron's been fighting for us ever since I've known him. Let me tell you this story. One time, we went to HUD. We had been fighting and fighting with East Lake Management. We went to HUD. Byron I think he had just gotten elected for the first time. And they had the nerve to tell us, well, we'll meet with you all, but we're not gonna meet with him. I said, are you kidding me? I said, if you don't meet with him, you don't meet with us. So then he said, oh, well, okay, we'll meet with him, but he can't say anything. But you know, that's how afraid they are of Byron. That's how afraid they are of him. And they was afraid of him then, and they're afraid of him now. So I just want to say, I wish him well, and I will support him in anything that he does. Thank you.
everybody. My name is Farah Chalisa, and I am a human rights attorney here in the city of Chicago. I'm really honored to stand here in front of all of you to support somebody who I truly believe walks the walk in his daily life for our communities every single day. I first met Alderman Byron because of a case, actually. I hadn't met him before that, although I'd always heard great things. But last summer, I had two clients who were assaulted at a mural in Pilsen. It was a solidarity mural for the Palestinian community and the Hispanic community, and two individuals were brutally beaten when they confronted a woman who would vandalize the mural, who would drop feces in front of the mural, and that is how I met Alderman Byron. I met him through his support during the process of trying to attain justice for those victims. I never expected that somebody as busy as him or in a political power would be willing to answer my every phone call, respond to my every text, give me his phone number, and tell me to call him if I ever needed anything for that case, and mean it. Because I will tell you, every single time that I used that number, every single time that I texted it, because the police weren't listening, or they weren't doing their job, or they weren't investigating, or I needed pressure, he picked up or he answered every single time. Because of him, that individual was charged with 7 charges, with 7 felonies, for the type of violence that is rarely charged, let alone even recognized in our communities. And that is who he is. That is what he will continue to do, serving these communities in Congress. That's how I know that he belongs in the seats of Congress. Because this is a moment that underlines something fundamental about who he is. When the city fails, when police accountability feels abstract, he steps in with urgency and humanity. He pushes the city to respond, to investigate, and to take our concerns seriously. And he doesn't do it from a pedestal, he does it from a place of genuine care and approachability. If you ask him a hard question, he will answer it honestly, accurately, and with exactly who he is. He doesn't just talk the talk. He doesn't just write his words on paper. He embodies the struggle of what his community is and the promise of what his community can be. He's fought tooth and nail to keep his community safe, and he will do that for America as well. His advocacy is rooted in the understanding that our systems, from policing to immigration enforcement, have systematically devalued and endangered the very communities that they serve. As a Muslim American, as someone who works and fights for the dignity and rights of immigrants and people of color, I can say with absolute clarity, Alderman Byron's support for our community is not performative. It's rooted in a shared understanding that all of our struggles are interconnected. Muslim communities, Latinx communities, working families, people navigating immigration enforcement, all of our fights have originated from the same colonial and imperial structures. And those structures harm us all, and it will take all of us to tear them down. And I have no doubt that the alderman will be a leader in that process, because he was speaking out about the genocide in Palestine long before other political leaders were. And not only was he speaking out about it, he was showing up. He was doing the work. He was bringing resolutions in city council. He was making statements in city council even when they were unpopular. Because when he supports something, he stands by it. He's honest. How many politicians can we say have been honest? How many politicians can we say already do the work that they're promising to do in Congress? We don't have to wait for him to prove to us he'll keep his word, because he already has. I've been privileged to work with Alderman Byron on police accountability and immigration issues, and been privileged to see his passion for keeping these communities safe. This campaign is about more than one man's aspirations. It's about the kind of society that we choose to build. In the face of increased ICE enforcement, in the face of a paramilitary group terrorizing our communities, We need people who will stand up for our safety, and we know that Alderman Byron will. This is about choosing justice, solidarity, and liberation over complacency and division. It's about affirming that our communities are not only worthy of safety and respect, but that our voices are an important and valuable part of this country, and they deserve to shape the future of this city and this country. I am proud to stand with Alderman Byron today, not just because of the work we've already done, but because of the work that we will continue to do together. Thank you so much. And now I would like to welcome the legend himself, Alderman Byron.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning. Muy buenos días. I'm very, very moved. Very grateful to be here with all of you today. I recognize a lot of friendly faces, a lot of leaders, a lot of people, ordinary people doing extraordinary things every day. I see some of my former students, I see my colleagues, I see community leaders from the small business, from violence prevention programs, people making the difference every day to support and help in our communities. I'm very humbled by all the support and for you to make the time to be here today. It means a lot. I'm happy to share. Of course, grateful and thankful first and foremost for my wife and my family for being here with me. And together we already have changed what's possible in our communities, as you have heard from the many leaders who are joining us today and making the difference every day. And we need this coalition today more than ever. We're living through some very scary times. When I came to the US, when I was 17, I never thought I would see federal agents kidnapping and murdering people in American streets. I never thought I would see the United States Congress stand by and do nothing in the face of attacks on our healthcare, on science and the work of the CDC, on environmental protections, on people of color, the queer community, and on immigrants like myself who are essential to the fabric of communities in every corner of America. As a teenager, I believed that America was a place where anyone could get an education, work hard, and make a good life. Today, as a father of 3, as you can see, I worry that that will not be the case. And what awaits for my son and daughters is something far more grim. And I know I share that fear with all of you in this room. But we also share is the unyielding belief that another world is not only possible, but is necessary. Yeah. I'm inspired again and again by this community, by the people that you see in this room, the people from all our communities. I've seen us come together in the first weeks of COVID to hand out PPE, host vaccination clinics, organize cash assistance, and make sure seniors get their groceries. That is the character of our communities. I've seen us pull together neighborhood rapid response teams, walk children safely to school so their parents won't get kidnapped by ICE, host and attend Know Your Rights workshops, doing civil disobedience, and protect our neighbors by all means necessary. You do all this while holding down 2, 3, oftentimes 3 jobs, and making sure parents and grandparents make it to the doctor's appointments. That finding a way to afford just enough groceries for the week, despite the SNAP cuts by this federal government. Only filling up your gas tank with what is needed so that you can make it to work and back. And helping kids do their homework, making them feel safe and loved, despite what they watch on the screen. I know everybody's exhausted. But yet, despite all of this, the people in this room and across Chicago and the suburbs have done more than the greater good of our country than the United States Congress. Yeah. But together, we're going to make sure that someone in Congress who will work as hard as we do, as much as we do in collective activism and unity.
as each of every person in this room and across our communities does. You deserve a congressperson who shares your fight, who shows up alongside you the streets, and will make sure that your sacrifices are not in vain.
Yes.
The energy we have here and the energy that we have in everyday life for ordinary people is what we need in the United States Capitol. This is why today I am launching my candidacy for Congress and that's why I'm launching my campaign and my candidacy for Congress as an independent democratic socialist. Estoy lanzando mi candidatura al Congreso como independiente democrático socialista al cuarto distrito del Congreso. And it's a full circle moment for me to make this announcement right here. 17 years ago, I taught GED, ESL, financial and digital literacy to adults just a few blocks away from here and in these very walls. When the number of students that wanted to learn outgrew the classroom space, we had so many people that we violated the fire code. So Mr. Duarte, Miguel Duarte, who I want to thank him for opening once again his restaurant, Cinco Estrellas, for us. Open the door to our students. That is the solidarity among our small businesses, teachers, students, communities, children. That is the solidarity, and that is the moment that we got to meet in this moment of time. Within these walls, we lived or believe in public education for everyone. We were led by the example of Karen Lewis and by the history of the civil rights movement. To this day, I continue to be led by the legacies of Chairman Fred Hampton and Mamie Thiel, who didn't just accept what was in front of them, but they stood up to a system that dehumanized us all. And today, within these walls, a new world can be born. We can elect the movement of hopes and dreams. We can refuse to let anyone diminish our humanity or justify genocide or be rewarded by greed. Right here in the heart of our Latino and our Mexican and Black communities, we are an example of solidarity and love across the state, across the Midwest, and across the world. We are not tied down by party rules. We're not waiting for the Democratic Party to give us permission. We're not sitting here at the bottom tier of a hierarchy mapped out by corporate billionaires on both sides of the aisle. Nosotros no nos vamos a agachar la cabeza a un sistema de dos partidos políticos llenos de billonarios en ambos lados de los partidos, y tampoco vamos a pedir permiso para que nos sigan explotando y humillando cuando nuestra gente sufre. Nosotros peleamos. We are independent and free to insist, free to expect that our nation to be safe and to be a safe haven where we can all coexist as neighbors, where we can protect each other, where we can uplift and inspire the next generation. Our children deserve leaders who tell them the truth and that they light the way down the path of justice, because justice is not a destination. It is the road that is traveled. As you all well aware by now, I've never been one to be quiet about injustice or to go along to get along. I've never been one to accept what we all know is unacceptable. Whether it was fighting alongside the courageous mothers of Acero, who I have the privilege to be here with us, and some of the students as well, who fought the corruption of Juan Rangel or the cronies, who are trying to come back and deceive our community. The parents and the students and the teachers together fought back and saved those schools. So thank you to the teachers, the students, and the community. And it was about taking on Danny Solis and Michael Madigan all the way to the Illinois over the use of campaign funds to defend their corruption, or making sure that our city prioritizes families who have been in their homes for generations over the developers' corporate greed that threatens their homes. Here is the truth. Billionaire pedophile human traffickers are running the United States government. And shamelessly profiting from it, denying science, and like pirates at night, unleashing terror and kidnappings abroad and at home to extract oil and colonize free countries like Palestine, Greenland, or Venezuela, or any place in Latin America. When poverty, racism, militarism, misery, war, and imperialism is spread like wildfire, we've shown what happens when we unite working class people, labor, faith leaders, elected officials, like we did with the coalition of Chicago United Families, taking action and organizing against ICE everywhere, in the streets, in the courts, in the legislative bodies, whatever we need, because we are not criminals. We are workers, we're essential workers, and the real criminals are right now governors. And what we did in the pandemic of 2024 to keep our seniors, our students, and our neighbors safe. I am proud to be with leaders like Don Ananias or Lisa or Elvira Arellano, a fighter who has been fighting for decades for our immigrant community. I am proud to stand with you. I'm also want to thank, I'm also proud to stand with people like Jose Richard, the security guard in the Discount Mall that prevented, with his courage, a raid in Little Village and protected our neighbors and neighbors. Like for many others who can pro bono and volunteer their time. So workers, like the worker that was taken in back of the yards in the Soporama, now is back with her family, as it should. And that is the power of the people. Or the community of La Villita, they came together on 23rd and Sawyer when these mercenaries tried to kidnap an 11-year-old. The people rise up and protected that child. And now we're not only going to fight back, we're going to sue them back. I also want to thank the many leaders from across the community, but I want to thank and show the example of people like Antonio Ramos, who was raised in Pilsen, who lives on the north side and does night shifts at night, and yet comes back to this community every morning. Every morning to protect one child, one children, so they can go to school. That is the community that we represent. And also the leaders from PDA and all the rapid responders that are showing how we fight back. So when we as a community were told that we needed to accept 500 luxury units in Pilsen, that we're going to destroy the social fabric of our community, we organized, and as soon as I was elected, we eminent domain those 6.3 acres of land, and we are now going to have 500, but all affordable housing for families in our neighborhood. And we started to really limit the pollution in those lots, and that is the power of the people. That's right. We've been out there together fighting, while the billionaires are making it impossible to afford living in our city and have destroyed our economy. They are the real responsible people for losing American jobs. The job reports are so bad, they don't even publish it anymore. That's right. So I dare you say that the immigrant community who does the jobs that nobody wants to do are the criminals. Yeah. We are the essential workers, and we are going to fight back. They have been putting paywalls on our education, on our medical care, on our housing. They're branding immigrants as illegal, and they have branded peaceful protesters as rioters or terrorists. They branded progressives as bad for business, when we are the ones standing up with workers and small businesses every single day, not only when it's election day. We let these false narratives go unchecked for way too long. We let the Republican Party go unchecked long enough. Project 2025 was a decade in the making. A year into Trump's second term, and what are we showing up for? What are we showing up for? We are overworked and overtaxed so that we can make the rich even richer. They want us to survive just enough so that we can work. There's barely time for us to breathe, think, to have compassion for the the world around us and even spending time with our children. It's like they're trying to put paywalls on our own love for ourselves, our stability, and our families. Affordability is a buzzword that Trump does not even understand. And we cannot even afford to have compassion for ourselves because they know we cannot be in the solidarity if we are incapable of loving ourselves and we cannot see our own worth. But there is love and solidarity among us.
Yeah.
They have tried to take everything from us, and yet the human spirit of solidarity is prevailing in the 4th district, and we should be proud of that. This campaign isn't about winning an election or a career. This is about building the movement that will transform a baseline standard of dignity for the people in our community, working families, seniors, teachers, federal workers, all working people.
Right.
I will bring our fight to Congress, working for housing for all, Medicare for all, and mental health services for everyone. Expanding veterans' healthcare access to include the families of veterans. Reforming our tax systems to end the tax breaks for corporations and billionaires, and challenging corporate power in Congress as we do it in City Council every day. Abolishing ICE, but also prosecuting federal agents who kidnap. We need to audit the Pentagon. Where are billions and trillions of money going to? Are we taking funding that should go to housing, healthcare, the environment, all of which make life affordable for the working class, and using it to terrorize our neighbors? Shame on that. Shame. I will end the normalization of school shootings and the violence in our communities perpetrated by Proud Boys and extremists that try to silence us and terrorize us. We will not be silenced. We will fight back.
Yeah.
Another thing on billionaires on both sides of the aisle. We will take on big money out of politics. If it's Elon Musk or Michael Sachs, we will fight you both. Those are the billionaires that claim exemptions and vacancies while they shift the burden on working people. And you can only look at your property taxes and see who pays for the subsidies and the terror of the billionaire class. Our campaign to build democracy with every voter in this district is how we get there. Democracy is not as afterthought. Democracy is essential so that we can have decisions in our communities. Let me tell you, what won't get us there? Establishment politicians in the making. My opponent, Padre Garcia, has never held office or been held accountable to the public.
Yeah.
And in her first introduction to the voters, she tripped over the threshold by playing in our faces about silencing our voices for yet another election cycle. When ICE was attacking our Halloween trick-or-treaters, gassing our communities, kidnapping our neighbors, Patty and her mentor mapped out an old-school establishment, anti-democratic backroom deals, and decided to hide the fact that this was planned all along for a retirement. Doing this intentionally kept other candidates out of the race and took away the will of the voters. And then they had the audacity to publicly celebrate the level of secrecy their operation maintained so that she could run unopposed as a Democratic candidate. No more. No more. In order to make this movement a success, we need to collect thousands of petition signatures in just a few months. And we need to be highly organized. I refuse to take money from corporate PACs or donation from lobbies or APAC. This is a grassroots campaign that is happening on the ground. I am proud to have the support of the same people who elected a new mayor in New York, the Democratic Socialists of America, neighborhood-based organizations, progressive congressmen, former congressmen like Mary Newman, and many others who believe that the movement will defeat the billionaire class. So please, I ask you today to support our campaign however you can, whether it be making a donation or volunteer your time to pass petitions. We need to get on the ballot as an independent candidate to become the next advocate, the next fighter for the U.S. Congress. And I tell you today, looking at this room around me, despite the times, the fear, frustration, and anger, I ask you, we should not turn against ourselves. Don't turn on each other. Uplift each other. Help each other. And show solidarity, because we're going to show the world what is possible in the Midwest, in the 4th Congressional District, when we elect an independent, democratic socialist to fight And now I can take a few questions. And, oh yeah, there's a vehicle, EY Black Jeep 49946, and another black car DB 78319. If we can move it. One of the people. Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna take a few questions.
A few questions.
Does that mean you're run for the 2024 US Office Vivo now?
I think that is the focus right now is on the election for U.S. Congress, and right now, as many mentioned, there will be new blood, the intergenerational, the struggle, and the intergenerational relationship, and I am proud to say that our focus will be on the U.S. Congress.
You mentioned thousands of petitions. I think it's over 10,000 you have to get as an independent to get on the ballot. Can you speak to the uphill nature of this battle? Winning as an independent, especially if there's also another independent in the race.
Well, we all know that, the bipartisanship around making it difficult for independent candidates is real. I got to run as an independent because I was not even given the option to run in the Democratic primaries. We know the power of the people. You see this room, and this is what it takes to collect petitions. It takes people, and people defeats money. We also need, of course, small donations or measures gets out to every corner of the 4th Congressional District. But I know that with the support of the Democratic Socialists of America in New York, there's now a new mayor, and despite all the odds, I know that in 2019, when I was spent 5-1, there was a new alderman in the 25th ward, and I know that the power of the people will get us those 10,000 petitions, and we will definitely challenge the bipartisans to make it this kind of practice and make it difficult to have an independent. I think that we're here with this energy in the room, ready to make history and run as an independent and get on the ballot.
Alderman, question for everyone here in the room, given the number of petitions that need to be signed. How many people here, if you would raise your hand, are willing to circulate petitions? Keep them up. Keep them up. Keep them up.
We'll exceed the 10,000.
Yeah. Easily. 20,000.
20,000! Woo!
You're on the city council, you're known as a firebrand. You sometimes rub people the wrong way. Do you have any concerns that that litigation could hurt you in this race at all? And if so, how do you overcome that?
Well, I have always said that I do not build coalition with politicians. Neither I am part of a fraternity. I represent my constituents and I build coalition with my constituents. I think that the city council has a lot of reckoning to do when they take money from billionaires, when they trade their constituents. They will be held accountable by their constituents. I need the support of the people of the 4th Congressional District and any other elected official who wants to join this fight for their constituents against the billionaire class. So this is the same fight that I've had long before I was alderman, and this is the fight that continues. That is the fight that we need to win to overcome the state of terror that we have in our community.
Have you got any pledge of support from, you mentioned Montgomery, have you got any pledge of support, or are you going to reach out and hope to capitalize on the support that you got in New York?
Well, we got, I tell you that in the Chicago DSA, and I'm glad to see so many of them here. We went into endorsement session before I even considered, and 95% of the people in a room of almost 300 people said that we should take on this fight, and we certainly want to connect with our brothers and sisters and cities in New York so that we can continue to build a coalition of cities that have been attacked by this federal government so that we can protect each other and show that another world is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Quería un comentario. Y alguien más.
I just want to, my name is Victor Cortez. I'm a friend of Byron. And I just want to say that this place is blessed. Because before Byron was working with the youth, like he mentioned, he did a lot of work in this place. Back in 2011, our past president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, came to this place to have a meeting with the community. Then, now we have Byron taking this place. I think he already knew that this place is good back and good vibe and to announce his candidacy. So, I am proud and not broken heart for that reason, because I have been out of this aldermanic work since he won his election, because there was a very disruptive. But I also want to say that we in my family always have support of Byron Signature, and we are going to continue. And I will do my best and my family to collect the necessary signatures so we see Byron in the ballot.
Mi nombre es Elvira Arellano y el día de hoy estoy aquí apoyando a Byron Sixto, porque Byron Sixto ha estado desde un principio con la comunidad. Cuando él corrió para ser concejal la primera vez, yo no le apoyé, yo no toqué puertas para que la gente saliera a votar por él. Sin embargo, el primer día que él fue concejal, el primer caso que le llamamos para que nos ayudara fue el caso de las personas que venden los tamales en la comunidad de Pilsen, cuando había un empresario de Indiana que quería venir a poner sus puestos en la ciudad y desplazando a los señores que venden los tamales, echándoles la policía, acosándoles la policía. Y me llamó una de las señoras que vende los tamales y me dijo, Elvira, necesitamos que nos ayuden. Y rápido hablé con el padre José Landaverde, con la pastora Emma. Hay que llamar a Byron Sicho. Inmediatamente Byron se levantó al siguiente día con organizaciones y llamando conferencia de prensa para que parara el acoso contra las personas que venden los tamales. Y ahí seguimos, tras años, la gente vendiendo sus tamales. Ahora, la gente está siendo perseguida por los agentes de ICE y Byron ha estado ahí presente. Hace 3 años, el 1 de mayo, salimos a las calles. No estaba lleno de políticos, no estaba lleno de organizaciones grandes, no estaba lleno de sindicatos. Era solamente como 20 personas las que estábamos ahí para llevar una carta a los senadores para pedir solamente permisos de trabajo para la clase trabajadora. Y sin embargo, el único político que estaba allí con nosotros marchando bajo la lluvia, todos mojados, era Byron Sixto. Y por eso me levanto aquí para hacer un llamado a nuestro pueblo. Byron no es una opción. Byron debe ser la elección para que nos represente en Washington. A todos aquellos que nos han dicho que por ser indocumentados no tenemos voz en el Congreso, ahora tendremos una voz y esa voz es Byron Sixto.
Months ago, in October of 2024, 7 Osceola charter schools were told out of nowhere that their 2,000 students, 4,000 parents, and 270 entities would be out of jobs, be out of education, out of proper education for their kids, for the students. And those schools are filled with majority African American and Latino students. We have both communities saying they want us to become part of this. We have reached out to politicians, many politicians who brand themselves as progressives, who brand themselves as people.
My knee's hurting me.
And none of them came to talk with us. We were left alone. There was only one man, one person. Even though we didn't even represent one of those Osceola schools, came to fight for all 7. And that